Hello, I'm Mayor Cheryl Brothers. I'm here again at Fountain Valley's Heritage Park. We'll be interviewing Mark Johnson, who is the superintendent of Fountain Valley School District soon. We're going to connect with him and see how the school district is doing and get some information on their plans for this upcoming year. A very unusual year. Because we're social distancing here, I'm going to remove my mask and do the rest of this. Last Sunday, I was at the recess room on Brookhurst, which is a restaurant on Brookhurst, to provide 1,000 backpacks for children. The event was in partnership with Karina's Backpack Project, Moving Forward Together, which is a coalition. And thank you to the recess room on Brookhurst for supporting such a great cause by providing their facility and their parking lot to make the event a success. It was great to see smiling faces on those students as they were eager to start the next school year, whatever that looks like. The backpack's going to allow them to go to school if their school is open, or keep their schoolwork in a safe place at home. The County Health Department began last week testing at the Anaheim Super Site at the Anaheim Convention Center. There is a dedicated lane for first responders there. The tests are for asymptomatic or symptomatic, either one. They can administer over 1,000 tests per day. Appointments are required. The information to register for an appointment is on your screen. If you own a mobile home and owe back fees and taxes, there is a state program that allows the California Department of Housing and Community Development to waive all or a portion of those costs and remove the lien on your property. Manufactured and mobile home fee and tax waiver program. The deadline to apply for that is December 31st, 2020. Your home is your safety and security. Getting registration and title protects you and your family today and tomorrow. That information is on your screen and the city's website. Well, we're here today with Mark Johnson. He's the superintendent of the Fountain Valley School District. And we're here to talk about, because so much of our city are senior citizens, we don't keep in touch necessarily with the school district, like I know Mark is doing with the parents and students. So we're here today to bring you up to date on what's happening with the schools and what's going to be happening soon in the fall. So I know it's been a roller coaster throughout California. Everyone is anxious to have students back in the classroom. But before we discuss plans, how is Fountain Valley School District doing in the past few months, and what have you been doing?
Yeah, so I think we're doing as good as can be expected, right? And I think that's the new norm of what we say on dealing with this pandemic in our world and all the changes that we have to adapt to. I'm proud of what we're doing. It's not our normal. It's not what we hope to be doing, but I am proud of the work that we're doing to, one, inform our community, make our schools safe, bring forward all the protocols and practices that we need to, with the goal in mind that it really is to get kids in school each and every day, and that based upon safety measures and where we go up and down in Orange County with COVID-19, that how we're able to bring them back will be highly dependent upon that.
So have you had summer school classes this year?
So we did it differently. So we did open our daycares for summer school. We do have preschool this summer. We ran them at significantly lower ratios than we normally do. And we didn't get to do all the summer field trips that we normally get to do. But we did have over 100 kids in our preschool and daycare programs throughout the summer. But we did something different. We did a 1-month virtual extension that was built by our teachers on special assignment. And we offered it to every kid, grades K-8. And it was about an hour and a half of learning a day. And it was, some English reading, some writing, some math. We also put out some emotional and social wellness pieces for our kids. We know that a lot of them are inside and not as active as they used to be. So we wanted to make sure we touched on that. And then literally this upcoming Monday, August 10th, we'll be launching our Jumpstart program for all 6,000 of our kids, so that if you're going into third grade, here's 1 month of about an hour and a half a day of what you can expect when third grade starts. But our traditional summer schools and the intervention programs we typically run, we weren't fortunate enough to run those this summer.
Well, it sounds like you've done a lot.
We're trying. We're doing it differently, but
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
that's all I can say. It's just so different.
I'm sure the parents appreciate that. So I know that school district has always been above average on their performance in Orange County. And we know that many parents transfer into the district for that reason. Could you share some information about your performance standards?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll just share over the last several years, we've been fortunate to have some significant increases in achievement. You guys might know we take a new computer-based test that's called the Smarter Balance Assessment. 5 years ago, we were number 5 in math and number 5 in English Language Arts in Orange County. Last year, we came up number 2 in Orange County in math and number 3 in language arts. And so we have that upward projection going. Sadly, we did not get to take a state assessment this year. And so it's one of the things that was waived or suspended. And we're still kind of up in the air on whether we'll have state testing this upcoming year. A lot of people out there are talking about that learning's so different. How do we compare an assessment, let's say this upcoming spring, to something 2 years ago when kids got daily instructions? So, but I still want to get a number on a kid and know how they're doing so that we can use that to build programs and so
Sure,
forth.
sure. Well, it's helpful for the student, the teachers,
sure.
and everyone. Yeah. So in the past year, I know that you were doing some projects on the school facilities.
Yeah.
So how are those projects coming, and are you on schedule?
Yeah, great question. So we've had a number of projects going on. You know, last year we finished Masuda and Courageous. Most of that was an HVAC project, so we're happy to have just fresh air, cool air running through our schools. This year we worked on Tamura and Fulton and Cox Elementary School. And Cox and Tamura went fantastic. Fulton had a glitch because the building, the architecture is so different that we had to engineer some things that we weren't expecting for the roof, to put the AC unit on the roof. But I'm really proud to say that project has caught up, and we anticipate all 3 projects finishing on time. In fact, Tamura and Cox finished a month ahead of schedule.
Oh, terrific. Yeah, that's always good news.
Yeah, right.
Let's talk about the next school year, and if you could talk about meals for students. I know a lot of students look forward to those meals at school. So
Absolutely.
What is the school district doing since they're not available?
Yeah, so during the COVID pandemic, while school was in session, the federal government put forward a program where schools could serve meals to kids daily, regardless of whether or not they were on free or reduced lunch. Although it was encouraged for those families, it wasn't something that we checked as we normally would when they're in session. And so we served thousands and thousands of meals from March to June. In the summer months, we had partners who have helped us step in to serve families. And so Summer Harvest is a group that's local. It's our parents who are part of a bigger organization, and that happens every 2 weeks on Saturday, that they'll distribute packages of groceries for families to come and pick up, and that's open to any family that has it.
And where are those?
They
being
pick it up right in
distributed?
our parking lot at the district office.
Oh, the district
Yeah.
office. Okay.
And it's a drive-through and go service, and just really proud and grateful to have a partner like that.
Oh, that's terrific. So let's talk a little bit about the next school year.
Yeah.
I've been told you've prepared a video.
Yeah.
Tell us about that video.
Sure. But we went through everything from the new governor's orders, California Department of Public Health, came out on July 17th, and it gave a stronger level of guidance for schools. It did add a component. At the time going into that guidance, schools were kind of left up to make a local decision on whether you could reopen. And then he came out on the 17th and said, if you're on the state's monitoring list, which Orange County is, then you must open in virtual learning. So that kind of took us for a little back step because we were planning something different. At the same time, he provided really strong guidance on what to do if somebody is suspected of having COVID at school, the protocols that we need to run through, and then how school closures could happen, whether a classroom would shut down, a whole school would shut down. So we were really grateful for that level of guidance, but I know there was some frustration around if you're on the monitoring list, you must start virtually, right? So we wanted parents to hear that from us. We still have the goal of having kids in school every single day. And I don't want to take our eye off that goal until we get closer to school starting.
Mhm.
That being said, we are also very well prepared that if we have to start virtually, because we don't have a choice, then we've procured a virtual platform so that our parents, our kids, our teachers, there's one window that they all work through. Not going too much into detail, but every classroom, every teacher does things a little differently on the way they communicate with parents. We wanted to have one standard platform where a kid could get credit for doing their work. A parent could go into there and watch what their kid had done and see that they actually got credit for it. And teacher to use that as a communication platform for our families too. And then it lets our administrators monitor what's happening a little bit better as well. So we're kind of prepared for anything and everything. This last Monday, we put that video out on July 24th. This Monday, literally August 3rd, we got new guidance. Wasn't surprising. The one thing we're really happy of is it allowed youth sports to start up again. So you're probably aware of that. But it also put some components in for a waiver for school districts to go for. And so it's for elementary schools only. So our secondary, middle schools, high schools, if we're on the monitoring list, 6 through 12 will not be allowed to go to school except virtually. But if we can apply for the waiver, get granted the waiver, we could bring younger kids to school in a safe way, right? So we have to be aware that putting 30 kids in a room, although that's our goal, may be a challenge to start. And so we do have what we call a hybrid or a blended model. It reduces the number of kids on campus at any given day, and kids don't get to go to school 5 days a week in person, but it does allow them to be on campus about 2 days a week. And then they work virtually or remote on the other days. The biggest challenge I think we face there is daycare for our younger students on the days they don't go to school. And so we are readily preparing for how we can deal with that volume. The best way to wrap this up, that's a lot, Cheryl, is to say we're prepared for anything.
You
right?
have to be.
We have to be. And our parents deserve it, right? Our kids deserve for us to have a strong program regardless of where COVID is this thing. But I'm happy to say to our parents in our community, if you're watching the Orange County Health Care Agency data, our data is looking really strong and has come down, right, each and every day, and that's promising to getting off of that monitoring list.
Yes.
Which then means all kids K-12 can go back to school.
Yes.
In our plan, whether we get to come back full or where kids get to go every day or whatever, we do have block scheduling for kids. So rather than going to 6 periods a day, they would only go to 3 periods a day, and those periods would be extended.
The common denominator has been, as of now, this is what
currently,
we're doing.
I'd love to say that, right?
But it sounds like you're making great plans. So how's the school funding for next year? Has it been impacted?
It has been impacted, but not at the extent that we were expecting. So if you watched what the governor said in May, we were expecting pretty significant cuts at that time, about 10% cuts. The legislature and the governor worked some things out, and that final bill was, or that final budget was signed. For this year, I'd say stable. Really fearful for what next year will bring, because if the economy doesn't turn around, this is not going to keep rolling forward where there's additional funding coming from different places. And then we were fortunate to get some of that CARES Act money from the federal government. And so we will be using that to kind of help stabilize the budget this year as well.
Well, Mark, I want to thank you for your time today, and especially all the hard work that you, your staff, all your teachers have been doing in the past few months to get ready for this very unprecedented school year. We also want to thank our parents for stepping up during this challenging time and supporting their kids at home with distance learning. I'm sure it's not easy, but thank them for doing that. I think everyone is doing what they can with all of these changes. We hope you had a chance to get some time off and recharge this summer. I know you've been busy and making all these plans that seem to be changing at least by the week.
Yes, they're fluid.
Do you have anything else you'd like to share with the community?
Absolutely. So first, just Cheryl, thanks for the opportunity to sit down with you today. Regardless of what we're able to do, we are well prepared to provide a rigorous program for all students. And I know that a lot of people have this idea of what distance learning was, and we called it crisis learning in the spring because it was one day we were in school and one day we were out, right? And this time we've had enough time to prepare. to where we feel really confident that we're going to provide a rigorous program each and every day for our kids. To our parents, I too want to thank you. You did yeoman's work this spring. It's not easy to manage your careers, possibly a job loss, and to keep your kids active at school on a computer. So just thank you for everything you did this spring. Thank you for what you're going to continue to do this fall. To our teachers, support staff, principals, community, thank you for everything you've done to ensure that Fountain Valley, who has had such a great reputation for such a long time, that continues. And we call it the FVSD way. And what that means to us is that there's excellence, there's collaboration, there's community, and there's this feel of family. So once again, Cheryl, thanks for today. Thanks for the opportunity to talk to you, parents, community, and so forth.
You're so welcome, and thank you.
Absolutely.
Remember to keep an eye out soon for the Shop 92708 coupon book. That will support your Fountain Valley Chamber of Commerce and local businesses by purchasing the coupon book for great deals that will expire in 2021. There'll be lots of opportunities there to have food discounts, service discounts, so you'll want to keep an eye out for that book. The Orange County Healthcare Agency, or HCA, has initiated a program called Face, Hands, Feet, Protect Each Other. It's a campaign to center around the steps you can take to do your part in slowing the spread, such as wearing a face cover, washing your hands frequently, and staying 6 feet apart. And you'll see their information on your screen. Until there is a vaccine, here are things we can all do to stay healthy and to keep our families and friends well. Please do your part by staying home if you're not feeling well. Wearing a face cover in public, remember to cover your nose. Stay at least 6 feet apart from others. And you can do that while you're walking in a park. Just keep moving. Stay away from other people walking in the park who may not be wearing a mask. Washing your hands often, even at home. Routine cleaning and disinfecting services that are touched often by you and others. Covering coughs and sneezes. Avoid touching your face. Remember, we have only one city council meeting in August, and the next meeting is scheduled for August 18th. Please protect yourself and others. Follow these guidelines so we can reduce the spread of this virus and get back to normal sooner. It's up to all of us. Do your part to slow the spread. Until next time.